46 seconds. Punches back. Touchdown.
Welcome, everybody. We are picking winners here at Run Pure Sports. I'm Statsational along with JBC, and we've got, of course, the big weekend here, Super Bowl weekend. So we'll be diving into a lot of Super Bowl bets.
You were there last year, right?
No, I did. Well, I went the week of, but I didn't go to the actual game.
Right.
I was there for like the media week.
Right.
Which
with what, Sirius?
Yeah, I was there with some guys from Sirius, and yeah, I mean, I prefer it over. When you get old, you don't want to hang out in big crowds anymore.
Yeah.
So, the national championship was nice because the bus from the Hard Rock kind of took you right up to the
straight in,
the gate, and there wasn't a long line to get in. Just kind of walked right in.
I mean, if you have VIP anywhere, it's fine.
Yeah, it's a different world when that happens. So I'm a little bit of a baby, and so I don't really care for the crowd. So I don't mind not being out there. Plus traveling all the way across the country, I'll be able to watch the game in peace. Samar, are you going out, or are you gonna be watching the game at home?
I'm gonna go to Doug's in-laws are doing like a cookout situation. I'm gonna go over there. So
cookout. There's not a lot of cooking out right now.
I mean, I don't know. I'll be the only white person there, so it'll be a
no, I know, but I mean, is there going to be like outdoor cooking?
Maybe it depends on the weather. I would imagine.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's cold here. I'm
yeah
here, man. It's in the 50s.
I mean, they do New Orleans style, so it you probably can manage most of that inside. I would think.
Oh, that's not bad. Do like a little gumbo, maybe perhaps, which would be.
Crawfish.
Yeah, they're doing crawfish. I might have to fly in.
I fucking love crawfish.
Yeah, they just opened a good like one of those Asian buffets over here.
Yeah,
all the crawfish you want, man.
You get the one of the Asian places by my place. So they got the crawfish fried rice. That was immaculate.
Yeah, I had crawfish. I always bring up China, but we were just talking about China before. I had crawfish there, and they give you like plastic gloves to eat it because it's so hot. The spice in there. it was all. I mean, it's numbing. It's not like it's not like Mexican or like Southwestern type of chili. It's a different type of
no.
Chili.
It's hot just to like burn.
It's not even a burn. It's a numb. It's a hot numb. So you can't feel your lips. It's like,
does it fuck your face up afterward?
Yeah, well, definitely don't want to touch your face. And I would say going to the bathroom, you'd have to be a little careful with what you do when you head to the men's room. So because that burns for a while too.
I mean, it sounds like something I would want to do. Definitely. Because I don't know. I'm sure you've read all into like why humans crave hot food and everything, and it's because the burn actually like releases.
Oh, and the endorphins or
yeah,
absolutely.
So it has nothing to do with the food actually tasting good, but we want it.
Some people do. Obviously, there are some people who just cannot handle the slightest bit of heat. My brother's probably watching, and he knows.
Oh, that's just being a bitch. That's just being a bitch.
It is.
It's 100% just being a bitch because obviously me and you are going to be affected by it more than everybody, and we do it anyway.
But I love it.
Dude, St. Elmo's in Indy, the shrimp cocktail where they just like jack the horseradish. It's like it clears your sinuses out so well. It's almost like getting high. Like it feels like the way that it makes your face feel. I don't know. I love it.
Yeah, it's a good. Well, listen, I love it as well. Kind of messing with my. Get my settings a little messed up. I don't know what happened here on the video, but we'll work with it. We've got look, hey, we didn't get the you didn't get the NBA trades that we were looking for. Did not happen. That trade deadline is that complete now? We had a lot of wacky starting lineups this week for DFS, that's for sure.
Oh, the Bulls yesterday. Well, or the Jazz yesterday, they played Isaiah Collier 48 minutes.
Yeah, that was my
it is February. I've seen teams do that like in April, like at the end. Like we're not even close to the end yet.
Well, listen, back in my day,
Back in my day, they all
players would
48
actually
minutes.
play 48 minutes. So I'm not going to, players played 81, 82 games a year. I'm not too concerned about a guy playing 48 minutes in a game. But yeah, so unfortunately that one did not pan out. I don't think Golden State's going to win a title now. Who do you like right now if you had to take a team?
I mean, Oklahoma City still looks pretty
they're rolling, but I mean, can you get any value there?
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty tough to bet.
I hate it when one team is so much better than everybody else, but that's kind of what's going on.
Wasn't that the case of golf right now? Although Scotty's not having the week.
I will say on the show this week, the golf show, I told everybody to not play Scotty and to act like he wasn't there.
He's not there right now.
Too much.
Yeah, he's not there right now. This is. I mean, these are Tiger numbers. I never thought we'd see Tiger betting numbers.
He looks like that.
But I mean, he's really performing. He deserves it, and with the performances. But it's quite insane on the run that he's on. Golfers. I haven't done the numbers on it, just historically. Everyone thinks about, because Tiger's still there in our memory. The world number ones don't last all that many weeks. Like there's usually a lot of flip flopping. You get to be number one, you're there for a few weeks, and then you're not. If you could be number one for a full year, that's tremendous. So we think about Tiger because it was such recent history. It seems like, at least, being number one for so long. What Scotty's doing here, and not just being number one, just being so dominant. I mean, is it even better than Tiger's run because the competition is better? I know we lost some players to live, but I mean, is it even better run right now?
Well, I mean, I think if you don't factor in the majors as being more important, yeah. But Tiger, I think, was more successful in the majors. Obviously, Scotty still has some time to go. And Tiger's career obviously got cut a little shorter than it should have been. But, yeah, I mean, if he starts winning all the majors like he does these tournaments, lights out.
Yeah, I think that was the thing. I think Tiger's whole focus really was the majors. His goal in life,
tournaments. Yeah, Scotty plays like twice as many tournaments.
Scotty plays a ton of tournaments, which is. I mean,
Tiger would only play like 8 events that weren't the majors.
Right, and two of them were his events.
Right,
and he'd play like Bay Hill because it was Arnie, and he'd play Jack's event. He'd play the ones that he kind of felt like he had to play. Of course, TPC. So there were the signature type of events. So, but he wasn't playing some of these events that you see. He certainly wasn't playing any pro-ams. He wasn't getting in the AT&T over at Pebble Beach. He wasn't playing in those. Yeah. Scotty plays in all these, so you got to give Scotty credit, and it's definitely a help to the PGA Tour. Where we don't, unfortunately, he's not the personality that Tiger is. So if you ask the average person who does not follow sports, they have no idea who Scotty Scheffler is. Everyone knew who Tiger Woods was and is. I always equated to, I went to I had the tent on the 15th hole at Bethpage for the second U.S. Open that was there. And it was Tiger, like, all day long. It's beautiful. It's great because you can sit on the balcony. Either you sit over in the bar. There was a bar inside. You could sit at the bar. And if you wanted to go outside and watch, we were right on the fairway of the 15th hole. You could watch the golfers come up. No one really cared about who was out there. Everyone's kind of hanging at the bar watching it on TV. As soon as Tiger got to the tee, not only did everyone go outside, which is understandable, it's all golf fans, but every person who worked, like the waitresses, everyone but the bartender who could not leave the bar, everyone, and these are like 15, 16-year-old girls who weren't into golf. They were out there watching Tiger. So it was just a different. There's very few people like that.
You remember when we were at Troon, when he came by, even at his age now, it was like everybody stopped.
Yeah, there's very few people in all forms of sport, entertainment that have ever reached that kind of notoriety. And
right.
And certainly his was a lot of it merit-based because he was so good. But yeah, very few of those people. So to be in their presence is pretty remarkable. So the Scotty just doesn't have that. I don't care how many tournaments.
Scotty has no swag.
Yeah, there's no one knows who he is. No one ever will know who he is.
I don't
outside
want to
of-
drink a beer with Scotty Scheffler. I would be able to talk to Tiger Woods for like 5 hours.
Yeah, well, that always brings you to like who's the foursome, like who's the three golfers that you'd want to play with?
No, Daly and Tiger.
Daly always gets the number one. Yeah.
Yeah, Daly and Tiger, and someone fun, probably like Rocco or somebody like that. So another fun guy.
It'd have to be someone who has a good relationship with Tiger, though. Like Daly does.
Kepka? I don't know.
I don't know about. Yeah. You definitely want someone, though, that's going to be able to. Well, Tiger's a different person.
Phil
now.
and Tiger would be fun.
Phil would be fun. You just don't have the bank account to play with. To play with Phil.
Well, and he'll rat you out to the feds.
Yeah, exactly. All right. We got supposedly we got some big game going on this weekend, and I think we may be at odds here, which we have been for most of the playoffs. And
there's no way you're fucking taking the Patriots.
And I might be. So look, I've already got futures. I've got them at plus 1,000. I think the Patriots here at the plus 4. I've thought they've been value. Now, if you look at it with the eyeball, I think Seattle has looked much like the number one team that they were coming in, certainly on my numbers. I just think that we're undervaluing the Patriots here. I know you don't care for the Pats. I know you like Seattle. This line moved pretty strong right at the open, right? So we opened this, what was it, at 3.5, got bet immediately to 5, which is primarily sharp money. There's not a lot of square money coming in there. Square money is not going to move it that much anyway. But the only people betting the game minutes after the championship game ends are typically sharp accounts.
We took -4 right at it, like when the game ended.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a smart move just from the sense that game, we thought, well, you had thought when it moved up to 5, you thought it might continue to go higher. I disagreed, and I think it's now kind of leveled in. I don't think we're going to see any major move here. You're in that no man's land where the move can be greater between 4 and 6.
It might go. It might go to 5.5. I don't think it's going to 6 or 4.
I don't even think it gets to 5.5. But you are in that range
where
it
doesn't move.
Exactly. That's the point. It doesn't take a lot. I think people kind of they'll overvalue the move when we get to these. I call them kind of in between numbers. I mean, obviously moving from or onto or off of the 3 is way more significant. So typically, if you see a Super Bowl right at that 3 number, it's going to be real tough to get it off with the amount of money that's being bet on that game. So they open this one over the 3.5, gets bet immediately, and then most of the action's been really coming in around 4.5 and 5, I think. So, yeah, you would not expect all that much to happen here as far as the as far as the betting market goes. How about the total? What are you looking at here?
Under. I don't have any faith in the Patriots to score at all.
Well, yeah, I think if you have the opinion of Seattle, I think I would agree with you on the under. The fact that I like the Patriots, I think it's going to have to be an over type of a game, which is a little unusual, I think, because typically when you look at an underdog, you kind of figure it's going to take a low scoring, kind of grind it out, win the game late. I think it's the opposite here. I think they're going to have to put points up. I think teams have put points up. As good as the Seattle offense is, I mean, they gave up points.
The Patriots are not going to win a 10-7 game against
Seattle. No, I agree. I think this is going to have to be a game where Drake May is going to have to step up, and they're going to have to put points up on the board. The Seattle defense has been their number one efficiency defense as far as against the pass and the run. So number one in both. So it's not going to be an easy task. This is going to be, if the Patriots win the Super Bowl, I mean, off the top of my head, it's going to be hard to remember all of them, but they would have gone through maybe, at least for that season, the best stretch of defenses to win a Super Bowl that I can really remember. They didn't get a light defensive matchup at all. And now they haven't,
and they haven't impressed points either.
I was going to say they haven't impressed. It's not like they're just throwing up a bunch of points and
it's just the other team's fucking up on offense.
Yeah, they've gotten lucky in the fact that, listen, that Houston team, Stroud just not good, gave up a ton of had a ton of turnovers. Chargers
were dead. Stroud was terrible. Broncos had a hurt quarterback.
her quarterback in a bad weather game. So that's it. So, but with all that said, it's not like teams that have gotten lucky in the past and maybe don't deserve. I do think they deserve to be there, but we've had teams that maybe don't deserve to be there go on and win a Super Bowl.
I wouldn't say that the Patriots are not a top 10 team. Like, I think they're probably between 8 and 10.
Yeah, I think they're a better team than that, and and that's why I've got. So I had this. I would have made this line 2.5. As far as I wouldn't have made that 2.5 if I was taking action, but 2.5 is my number on this game on a neutral field. So I know you disagree.
I think this should be 7.
But I've been pretty much right more often than not here in the postseason with these games. So I'm going to go against a lot of the sharp money on this one and continue being the smarter person in the.
Did you take New England last week or last game? I think you did.
No, no, I did. That was not good last week.
They did not cover.
They did not cover last week. I didn't. That was a little unclear. The bet I actually liked was the over with you, which was not good. We didn't force it. The weather I don't think would have mattered, but did not foresee that weather coming. I don't think anyone did. It was hard. It was really hard to figure out what I like. I like New England more with Knicks because I had a clearer picture of
if no Knicks is in that game, the Broncos win by 10.
Yeah, I know you could say that, and they probably do win that game. But I don't know if they win that game by 10. Doesn't really matter. It's all hypothetical at this point. But what I've continued to say is I thought that the market has been undervaluing Patriots all along, and the difficulty in that game was I thought the market over valued the Knicks injury. So I thought that they were deducting.
But then you watch the game and Stidham handed the Patriots their only touchdown. He was terrible.
Stidham was terrible. That game was just so crazy with the fact that
the weather coming in when you didn't think it was going to.
So it was just an unusual game, and it's hard to garner a lot off of that game. I agree. Stidham was not good. Nick's not my favorite quarterback, but look, he won every one of those type of games this year. The only game that they lost this year that was of that type was 2 weeks ago to this Patriot team. But listen, the Patriots aren't going to give it back. They're taking it. They're in the Super Bowl, 4.5 point line, and
they haven't shown. You spoke about them playing all these defenses, but they haven't shown any ability to score on them. Like they just.
No, that is the concern. I'm with you there. They have
not. I don't see them getting to 20.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm going to disagree with you here. I think they're going to. I think in a good weather environment, I think, which not necessarily have they had here. They're not going to be playing in the freezing cold. Weather will be decent. I didn't see if it was going to be particularly windy, but I don't think it will. I think they're going to have to put up points. Now, with that said, the total I still think is a little high here at 45.5. I would have made this 43 earlier, but this total hasn't moved much since the open.
Well, it opened at 48 and immediately got jacked. And then it kind of stabilized. So it was just a ton of money on Seahawks and under right off the rip and then stopped.
Yeah, it's pretty much hit a wall here. I haven't seen it. I mean, I've just been looking at the same line.
Well, 45 is the wall. I don't think it's going below 40. If it goes below 45, then.
Yeah, well, of all the books, the two of the sharper books are at the 45 number,
right? Which
I like. So while I say I do think Patriots are going to have to score to win this game, I still think the under here, 45.5. I've got this made at 43. So if we're going to agree, I will agree with you. I'll take the under on this one as long I'm with the Patriots. Now I've already got futures out there, so it's not worth it as much here to have a lot of Patriot money on this game. I've already got some interest.
The old Texas hedge.
The Texas hedge, and just go ahead and
double down.
Pound. What's that?
Double down, just pound.
I was going to say, yeah, just go ahead and bet the money line on the Pats. I could certainly go ahead and do that, but no, I think the risk out there is fine for me. But I think the under is a pretty solid play. I wanted to look at. I don't know if I didn't get a chance to talk to you before. I'm sure you've looked at some of these. As far as, are there any props, any team props, team totals, game props, anything of interest, player props, obviously, anything of interest that you're looking at?
Yeah, our dear friend Connor Allen over at BetSperts, he mentioned one to me that really rang a bell when he said it, which was Ramondre Stevenson under 13 and a half longest rush. And Seattle has allowed like hardly any rushes of that length this season. And I really, really like that bet. I don't think Stevenson is running one longer than that. It might be down at 12 and a half now, but earlier in the week it was 13.
I didn't look at the I don't have that one longest rush. I think it was 12 and a half actually. I thought it
12 and
was
a half
still
under.
Yeah. I thought that's what the number was earlier in the week. We'd have to look, maybe someone looking at it, looking over on DraftKings or can let us know what that is. But I think the big thing here, a lot of people are going to want to play SGPs. Everyone plays SGPs regardless of the game, but certainly in a Super Bowl, there's going to be a lot of SGPs. And when you're playing SGPs, it's all about the correlations. So I've done a lot of work as far as the correlations, both statistically. I've done a lot of it for DFS as well. I've got an article actually up for DFS. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it, just with showdowns.
I read it.
How each team. I don't know if you garnered anything from that, but just looked at what the showdowns looked like for each team this year.
It's about how you would think. Defenses have been really prevalent in showdown this year. Seattle Myers has been in it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Darnold's typically not on the winning team, but for New England, May is almost always on the winning team, and Borregales hasn't been in there very much.
Correct.
So
the interesting thing, so when you look at New England, though, it's one or the other. They either have a big passing game or it's a big running game. And
they have a strategy and they stick to it.
That's been it. So if you're looking from a DFS perspective, like pairing a Stevenson with May doesn't work nearly as well as perhaps a Walker Darnold game may happen a lot more frequently than a Stevenson May game is going to happen. They're severely inversely correlated.
Yeah.
And when you look at it from the statistical point of view, I was looking at some of the prop bets. So, you can, I think almost everyone likes to bet the highly correlated type of props. And of course, those are juiced down. What would a correlated prop be? May's passing yardage along with his passing touchdown, or May's passing yardage along with Diggs' receiving yardage, right? Those are going to be heavily correlated props. And I don't even have to do the math to know those will almost always.
I can give you a great example of an uncorrelated prop that I think actually makes some sense here, which would be Rashid Shaheed under receptions and over yards.
Oh, all right. So you stole my thunder, but it wasn't with Shaheed. But go ahead, give your explanation. I have a few of those.
So that's anti-correlated, but if he catches a fucking 80-yard bomb and does nothing else, then you hit, and the odds will skyrocket. I get what you're going with this.
I had the same. All right. So these were some of the SGPs that I was working on. I think Mac Hollins is the same here. So you've got a 2.5. So I did not do it with Shaheed, but I do agree. I don't think the Shaheed one is as good, but I like the logic here. And when I looked at the numbers, of course, Shaheed hasn't been with the team as long. So getting the historical numbers for him is going to be a little bit more difficult. So the first one I thought of was exactly that. It was under 2.5, which is minus 160 with Mac Hollins receptions, but over the 26.5. He's another guy that you look at. I mean, he could get that 26.5 on one catch.
Right.
So easily, if he gets two, the 26.5 is in play. As a matter of fact, it's hit. I believe it is hit something like 25% of the time. You're getting plus 485 on that bet. It actually went down slightly. It was plus 500 when I started looking at it, and it's gone down now to the plus 485. So that is one I like. I think you could do this something similar maybe with a booty.
Booty wide open.
Don't like it quite as much. You are getting a better price on there on DraftKings.
You don't like booty?
No, I do. I just don't like this. I don't like the Kayshawn booty prop. But yeah, do like booty. It's actually third on my list though.
Third.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You really are a boomer.
I am. Well, not quite. Still Gen X. Are you Gen? No, you're not. When's Gen X end? About what age? 1980? something like
Ish,
early 80s.
like 82, 83.
You're a millennial.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate the battle of the generations. It drives me
That's because
bananas.
yours always loses.
It's actually the one that everyone respects from both sides until we're the oldest one.
No.
Yeah. It's the one that catches the least amount of crap. But anyway, no, I like the booty one. I don't like as much. It's plus 575. Under 2.5 is minus 139. 32.5 to the over on his yardage is minus 112. They're giving you plus 575 on that one. Another one of a similar vein is Demario Douglas. Now his under is heavy juice, minus 196, and then it's over 10.5 yards. So I mean, easily one catch here for over the 10.5 yards, but you're only getting plus 365, obviously, because part of that is the heavy juice on that under 1.5.
You could also, I also like the ones where it's like you could do Ramondre Stevenson's over on catches and under on yards.
What was it? Ramondre Stevenson catches
over on catches and under on yards.
Well, I had a Ramondre Stevenson because of that disconnect between May and Stevenson. I think you can go both ways here on it, depending on which, if you have a preference, if you like the over May yardage or under May yardage. I think, is he talking to you or me?
Yes. I'm 36 and he's 52. Yeah, I'm 36 and he's 52.
You never would have believed it. Most people are thinking that probably was flipped. But it is not. No, but if you look at May, so if you do May, it's minus 112 over on DraftKings, over the 223.5. Under 50.5 is minus 109. You're getting plus 240. They're basically saying there's pretty much no correlation on those two bets. But if you look at their season, they, like we just talked about, it's been very heavily correlated. If you go the opposite way, if you go over the 50.5 and under the 223.5 with May, that's minus 112 on the under 223.5, minus 115 to the over 50.5, and you're getting plus 232.
You think that applies more to Stevenson or Henderson? Because I feel like Henderson had some huge games where May did like nothing.
Well, I looked at both, right? And it was basically that correlation was with kind of universal. It was both equally. So yeah, so it worked out fairly equal. I could bring up a little matrix I made here on the correlations, but yeah, it looks pretty similar to both. And you really, I forget what number you've got to hit that at, where if you bet both sides, this, to me, it almost looks like the old school correlation before the sports books caught on, when we've talked about it on the show, where you could bet the under on a high spread game. So if you had a game, I think the correlation was something like you had to be within 30% of the total. So if you had like a 42 total and a 24 spread, you could bet both sides, bet the under and the dog and the over with the favorite. Right. And it was correlated so highly that it made money over time, just because they were so correlated.
40% rule.
Correct. So I think it's actually close here, that you could almost play both sides of that May Stevenson prop. Now, probably not as fun to do. You're only going to get one shot at it. You know, when you were playing those correlated props in college football, you'd have a few of them every weekend, and it was more of a grind it type of strategy. So I think for the fun and to get yourself an SGP, and if you want to add some legs to it, be my guest. But I think getting approximately a plus 240 SGP, I don't think it's bad there. If you have an opinion on one side, just go ahead and fire on the other side. So instead of playing May over, if you think this is going to be a game script where there's going to be some points, they're going to be playing from behind, but it's still going to be a close game, he gets his yardage, then I would take the Stevenson under with the May over. If you just think it's going to be low scoring, grind it, and and New England's going to be in control of this game, that's where you'll see, because more often than not, those are the games that we've seen the high rushing yardage, is games where they really haven't need to throw the ball. So I think my lean would be more, they're probably going to have to throw the ball to win in this game. I don't think they're just going to be able to run it all over Seattle, which I think you agree with as well. Obviously not liking the long, taking the under on longest rush from Stevenson. So I think some interesting ways to play it. So you can use some the fact that and we didn't talk about it, the fact that you knew exactly where I was going, you just went with a different player. But I think it's important because you have to be thinking that way. It's too obvious. And as a matter of fact, it's not smart. If you look at some of the correlations, May to Diggs is not as highly correlated as
May and Henry are correlated.
Yes. The May Henry props and the May Henry yardage. Henry's yardage, I think let me bring it up. I think it's his highest correlation to his passing yardage to any of his receivers, I believe, was Henry. Or it's close to it. Diggs is close as well. But you see kind of a very even correlation. The problem is the correlations are so low in general that the correlations on the SGPs, they're going to be factoring in a much larger correlation.
He doesn't dump it off very much. I feel like when he gets into a situation where most quarterbacks would dump it off, he just runs. And I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, and I believe I think he's got like a 6.5 rush attempt number.
Oh, he'll be running for his life. I think that.
Well, that's another good one, right? So I think you have to game script it. First of all, obviously you've got projections, and we've got projections. You've got, for those in DFS Run Pure subscribers who also have the SaberSim package. Of course, you could look at projections there, but there's so many projections out there that you could get and look at. And then you have to make adjustments based, off those projections are typically going to be just averages, and you're going to be, everyone's got a different method on how they project. But if you take a few projections, kind of average them out, that's going to give you an idea of where the projections are. And then you, as the bettor, need to kind of adjust based on how you think the game script is going to go. So and I would be you do have to be careful on yardage props, just strictly playing yardage props so if you do wind up with, let's say, a 32-yard projection on a player who has a 27.5 yardage prop, that's probably not that strong to be an over. You're going to have to look at the historical, but someone at 27.5, it doesn't translate nearly as well. When you look at a distribution, someone who's projected to be 27.5 is going to have a lot of games where they're really low. So it's called right skewing of the curve is going to be skewed a little bit to the right. So the games that they are involved in, they're just going to blow past the 27.5 number, right? So while your average, your mean, maybe 5 yards over what the average is, be careful on the low yardage, props, because those are skewed so much. Now, with that said, you may be able to find some value on taking the alternative props on those. You'd have to figure it out with the math, but it may be better value in some of these guys that we just talked about.
Same guys, Mac Hollins, Shaheed,
right? So you may want to just take those if you're looking for you're looking for some long odds. Instead of taking those guys, you're like, if you think it's going to be a Shaheed game, he could have one catch for 50 yards.
Right.
Quite easily.
And so you could do the SGP that we talked about and scale it. Shaheed under 2.5 catches and over like 80, and you would be getting like some stupid odds on it.
Agree. I mean, we could look at it now, but I love those type of. I don't want, what I'm trying to get across is I don't want you guys to just go out and just start clicking all these.
There are ways to be smart about the fun props.
Exactly. We could have some fun with it. We could also be sitting there with a +2 kit, a +2,000 payout on a prop, and still at least do it smartly, as opposed to, I see some people. I've got friends who I don't want to say they're smart, but they're not idiots either. They just do some really stupid things with the bet. I mean, I'll see people. Actually, I'll call him out. Chris, who my buddy Chris, who's he's not a math genius, but you'd have to think he's pretty much the average sports bettor.
Yeah.
And he'll put in a prop. I mean, he hasn't told me anything what he's doing on this game, but he'll put in 2 touchdowns from 3 different players on the same team. And I'm like, just playing 6 touchdowns in a game is insane. You think you're going to get 3 players correct to score 2 each?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not, it's just not going to end. The payout is just not even.
I remember I was talking to this guy who was obviously he's not dumb. He was he's a rather wealthy guy, businessman, and he was showing me his betting account, and he had parlayed like 4 guys on the Avalanche all to score together, and it's like,
People do this.
I know, and he's putting like crazy amounts of money on it. I'm like, you don't understand how stupid.
That's actually a good one, because you do see it, because this goes with what's the unfortunate part of what's happened in with the legalization of sports betting is it becomes something fun to do, which is great. You know, if it's entertainment and you want to spend a couple of bucks a day, a week, whatever it is, and have a little entertainment, but what winds up happening is, yeah, you're a hockey fan or you're a basketball fan, whatever it is, or you're at the bar and they've got the hockey game on, and you go, all right, just let me go in. It's so easy. I'm going to click, and I'm going to click a bunch of these, and hey, if I win, this is going to pay me, like, I'm going to put $5 on this. I'm going to win 10 grand if all these guys score today, right?
Yeah.
Which is,
let me bet Terry Rozier's over.
Correct.
And Emmanuel Clace to throw a strike.
Correct. I've got the book, the book to which you've promised me you were going to do the forward on the on the book. So I've been doing a lot of these, just analyzing. I did in there. I was just looking at an example, a real life example of a hockey prop on a 3-leg prop. It was I'm forgetting who the player was, Seth Jarvis and someone else on the Hurricanes. But it's they're basically negative correlate. I mean, the more goals someone else scores, it's not like baseball.
Right. Yes.
Like baseball, you can be a lot more, you can, if the game gets
baseball,
out of hand,
parlaying 5 guys on the same team, they hit a home run, is actually correlated.
Correct. You have a time limit in hockey. Plus, you get up 5 goals, the chances are you're not pushing it as much. I mean, you get up 3 goals, you might not be pushing the offense as much. You might be playing a little bit more defensive. So the correlation, when I was actually doing the numbers, and
they also run up the score in baseball.
That too, and you always get the chance that you're going to get a position player coming in there,
right,
for the slot. These are the guys who it's you could look it up, and some of the guys I know who actually figured out that the correlations were incorrect on baseball, and were playing round robins on all of those for every player in the every 9 batters to hit a home run. So you could think about when you get 6 or 7 of them that actually do, that payout is tremendous. So they found that, and there's still, I believe if you dig hard enough, you'll find correlations out there that the books just are not properly, they're not properly pricing. I think there potentially are some in hockey as well. It just takes a lot of work.
Super Bowl,
not on the Super Bowl. It's tougher on the Super Bowl, but I do think these. I think you have a little bit of an edge here on these, because I think they are just kind of pricing some of these as, I think what they wind up doing on a lot of them is kind of take the historic correlation, because in all honesty, even looking at it, 17, 20 games that have been played by New England, 19 games have been played by Seattle, it's still a very small sample size. And when then you factor in the fact that maybe the first 8 games, these teams are playing differently, in the second 10 games that they played, 11 games of the season, different players are in there. You have different strategies. So, what you did in week 1 doesn't always necessarily correlate to what's going to happen in the Super Bowl.
The Patriots were busy losing to the Raiders at home in week 1.
They were. And, both of these teams lost their week 1 game. Yes. San Francisco, right? I believe San Francisco beat Seattle week 1.
Maybe.
San Francisco beat Seattle this year, right? Let me know in the chat. I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm just thinking that as you mentioned that, I'm like, when was the last time we had 2 0-1 teams facing each other in the Super Bowl? But I believe Seattle did lose their first game to San Francisco. But yeah, these correlations. So instead, I just think smartly, and again, the fact that you were thinking the way I was thinking right away, and you're like, oh, the best thing to do is look for a wide receiver who has the potential to catch a long pass, but doesn't get a lot of targets. Yeah. It doesn't need the volume. You can't now. Obviously, you cannot play that both ways. Like I'm looking at that the Stevenson May prop, where you say, well, it's going to be either or. Either either May is going to throw for a lot of yards or he's not, and the inverse is going to happen for Stevenson. You can't really do that on these other props. You can't take the over in their receptions. I think that's self-evident, but in case anyone thinks you can play both sides of that. But I think there's a chance that you can win either side of that Stevenson one. Some other ones, I'm trying to look. Any one that you think, without looking, I know you haven't necessarily done the math. Do you think
about
any
Super Bowl props specifically?
Well, any other props, and then Super Bowl props. Do you like any game props? Do you like any team props, anything like that?
Well, the Super Bowl specifically, you always get really, really good numbers on things like there won't be a safety. There won't be the safety won't be the first score, which reminds me of one of my favorite stories from the Super Bowl betting. I think this was well, you'll be able to remember what year it was. Whatever the year before, a safety was the first score. So like every casual was betting safety first score.
Was it the Colts Denver? Not the Colts Denver. The Denver Seattle game, was that?
Well, the game I'm talking about is the Denver Seattle.
Okay,
game. The year before, it was also a safety as the first score, or there was a safety or something. And so this guy, he's telling the story. He's like, well, they were offering minus 800 on no safety, which is amazingly good odds. And so he was going around to every casino in Vegas, like day of, when the limits got jacked up. He gets down like $250,000 on no safety. And before he even gets home with his tickets, they snap the ball over Peyton Manning's head on the first play of the game. It was a fucking safety.
That was the Meadowlands. That was at MetLife. Yeah. He was just like, God damn. It's actually that's actually another good sports bet. Now I don't know what his bankroll is, right? And we talked a little bit about bankroll last week and Kelly and all that. No matter how big your edge is, the risk of ruin has to also you have to take that into account. I talk about it in the book. The story with me is I didn't know at the time. I'll give you the story. When I worked on Wall Street, I had a client down in Louisiana. I had a friend who was a professional sports bettor, and he was a professional horse guy, professional sports bettor. He's like, this is the early days of like early 2000s, early website. And he goes, hey, I'm starting up. My buddy's got this website, whatever. He's going to be a town game. I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll sign up. So I'm getting his game. The guy was pretty good. Well, he used to put stars on the games for how, 5 stars is best play, 1 star, so on. All of a sudden, one night, Toledo special play. And I go, well, I don't know what special play means. So I played it for like half what I normally would play it for, and it wins. And then like a week later, Toledo special play. So now I'm like, all right, I'll play it for like a full unit, play for the full unit. This happens now like 3-4 times, and it keeps winning. So I'm kind of catching. So, after the third time you go, something's up. It's always Toledo. And something's got to be going on with these games. But I don't want to ask because I don't want to know what's happening. I don't want to be involved. But I could I could put 2 and 2 together. So I think we get about 4 winners in a row, all Toledo. And then he would have a note on the website sometimes like, keep checking, won't get information until maybe 5 minutes before the game or something like that, So I'm like, well, whoever they need to get confirmation from whoever's like shaving points. This is basketball, by the way.
Got to get Terry's calling me. Hold on.
Yeah.
Terry Rozier on the line.
Yeah, exactly. So this is like the 5th game. I go, well, I mean, we're 4-0 on these special Toledo plays. 5th game. I mean, the entire bankroll is going on this game. I mean, they've obviously got inside information here, whatever's happening. So of course we throw the entire bankroll on the 5th one. And as you might imagine, the player one of the players who was in on it gets injured.
Yeah.
Game is never close to being a winner. They were in Nevada, Toledo at Nevada of all places. I'm pretty sure it was in Nevada. I have to go back and look at the year. I believe it was like 2003, but you can look it up. And then like maybe 3 years later. So of course gets wiped out. The plays, that was the last one of those plays we had. And then I think about 3 years later, all like a whole bunch of Toledo basketball and football players were arrested and put away for point shaving. So, I didn't actually know who was doing it or where. I was probably the 5th one down the chain getting the information. But my point is, even when you think you have a lock, you do not necessarily have a lock. And that is why having proper, the risk of ruin is a very important thing and important lesson to learn. So that was my my story of blowing up a bankroll really quickly. Yeah,
I think I remember that when they got arrested.
yeah, it was Toledo. I wish I could remember the player's name.
I think it was the running back. Like that's what comes.
Well, it was the running back for the football, and this was basketball, which is always easier. It's always easier. They have both teams. Both teams got
basketball. The players have more control over the game other than the quarterback.
100%. Yeah, yeah. If you can get to the quarterback, but the risk in college too is depending on the team. But man, they'll yank a quarterback. Like, hey, what are you doing out there? You know. So
they yanked the running back too. Shit.
Yanked the running back, but yeah. No, I didn't. We weren't getting any information on those football games, but it was funny when it all hit the news. It was both the football team and the basketball team, and it was the player, of course, who I suspected on the basketball team, who was indicted. So, yeah, these things have happened before, but that's always my I don't know what the proper word was, but my over exuberance, I guess, I let that get the best of me. And hopefully that would be a lesson to everyone else. But yeah, even if you're getting an edge on a bet like that, I mean, if you've got a pretty much unlimited bankroll, okay, the 250 grand, but that's, how much of an edge do you think he possibly had on a bet like that? It's a good bet, like minus 800. It's a good number there, but what's the edge on that? What's the actual?
Yeah, he was putting it at like minus 2,000 or something, which is pretty significant for something of that size, like that size of a favorite. Your risk of ruin obviously is also lower when you think the bet is 95% to win.
Sure. Yeah, but what's the true odds on that?
Well, it depends who's playing.
Well, obviously it depends on the teams. I wonder what I haven't looked at the true odds on them. The other big one in the Super Bowl used to be a team scoring 3 times in a row. That I don't think there's any value in that anymore.
7% of games.
How many games? How many percent?
7%.
7%.
And so he was getting minus 800 on something that was 93%.
The only other way that bet is worse because that's I guess any safety is going to be a bad beat. I actually I screwed up a bet, and
another bet like that is like the game not to go to overtime is another one.
What's the number on that right now?
For football, I could do basketball. It's on 5 to 7% for football. So like, and you'll get like stupid numbers on that for the Super Bowl. Like people will bet it at like 5 to 1 and shit.
You know what the safety prop is right now on DraftKings? Minus 2,500.
Yeah, because they got bashed on it a few times the years after the Bronco game, because it kept coming down and sharps kept betting the no.
So what'd you say the overtime number is?
5 to 7%.
Yeah, it's minus 3,500 to the no.
Yeah, they're just juicing the shit out of it so they don't get. But like,
well, yeah, plus 1,300 on the yes.
If you're out in Vegas, I bet you could find something.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's something you got to shop around a bit, but that is minus or plus 1,300 to the yes.
Plus 1,300 is actually pretty close.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking on that. Let me see. I could probably get all the books here on Sharp just to get those numbers on some of these. But yeah, do you remember that when like scoring 3 times? It used to be like minus 170. I don't know what it is now, but to score 3 times in a row.
Yeah, one team scoring 3
times. One team scores 3 times in a row, and it happens in like it was one of those bets years ago where no one really thought that was a thing, but you don't realize how often
it happens almost every game.
It happens almost every game. But people just don't realize that it does, and how frequently it does. But let me see. I got so many. Let's see. Safety. Will there be a safety? Let's see what the books have. So, yes. So the best you're getting on the no is Caesars and BetMGM from a lot of like FanDuel. I guess doesn't even have it. Yes, they might have only yes. I don't know. because I'm looking at an aggregator here.
What did Caesars have?
Minus 2,000 to the no.
Yeah, it's like, so this was minus 800. I remember vividly what it was.
Yeah, well,
Because
that's
so many people were betting yes safety after it had hit twice in a row.
Yeah, that's well, yeah. It sometimes it doesn't pay to be smart, as we.
I always make that comment to Bryce when something fucked up happens. When you're like, say you're in the NBA and you get a good swap in for DFS and the game starts and the guy hurts his leg, and you're like, being diligent fucked me over.
Oh, now we talk about it.
I mean, you always have to do it. Like, you have to be diligent, but like, fuck, if I had just been lazy and then done nothing, it would have been better.
That happens to us all the time with DFS. You know, it's like, oh, how many times like you are so happy that you were able to get the 2-minute before tip or lock, whatever change that needed to be made, and then you look at the market and you're like, oh, no one caught this, and it was useless. It wound up being
the guy like to get hurt or foul trouble or
right, and
whatever,
it screwed you anyway. Yeah, some of the other that overtime, it's a little bit more of a swing. You know, the no overtime at Hard Rock minus 1,500 compared to the minus 3,500 you're getting over on DraftKings and FanDuel right now. So still not worth minus 1,500. It's close to where it should be, right?
Yeah.
So you could get plus 1,300 on DraftKings and minus 1,500 to the no on Hard Rock right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, some interesting ones. We've got. Let's do the pick six. How did we do on our pick six last week? We had the NBA pick six. I don't remember how
I don't remember. I don't think it won.
It definitely didn't win. But we've been doing pretty good on the NFL one. It's going to be tougher here with just one game. I don't know.
We do get a freebie.
Is it
It's Smith and Jigba.
What is it? His yardage?
Yeah. So Smith and Jigba yardage is a freebie. I got that longest rush. Do they have that on here? Look for it. Or I'll just search this fucking name. Receptions. Nah, they just got attempts and then like first quarter and stuff like that.
All right. So you're gonna take
yeah, I'll take the freebie and then I'll look for another one while you give me what you're doing.
All right, I'll give you one here. Let's go. I'm gonna take the Kenneth Walker rushing receiving. I'm gonna take the under there, 99.5.
Okay. All right. I will. What am I going with here? Under on Ramondre Stevenson. Same thing.
What are you taking?
Under Ramondre Stevenson, 79.5.
Obviously, high. Oh, Stevenson. Okay, I thought you said Walker. Okay, let's do.
So you would want to take that with the May over, is what you're getting at?
Yeah, let's take the May over with that.
Okay.
I do like that.
And then the Henry over, right?
Yeah, if you're going to take the May over, let's take a Henry over.
The May over, Henry over, Stevenson under, Walker under, Smith and Jigba, and then one more.
Right, we need one more here. So let me take the way the line has been moving here, the Mac Hollins one. To me, the under looks sharp.
Over or under?
The under. It's been moving down. The sharper books have it at like 24.5. So we'll take that one under.
So Jackson Smith and Jigba, freebie. Kenneth Walker, under 99.5 rushing and receiving yards. Ramondre Stevenson, under 79.5 rushing and receiving yards. Drake May, over 223.5 passing yards. Hunter Henry, over 39.5 receiving yards. Mac Hollins, under 26.5 receiving yards, pays 25-1. I'll post that on Twitter.
Cool.
Any last thoughts?
No, I mean, I hope it's an entertaining game. I obviously.
What's your prediction? I got 24-13 Seattle.
Yeah, you don't think they get to the 20s? I'm going to say this one. I'm going to say 20 to. I'll say 21-17 Seattle. I squeak it out, half point.
Lose the
on
future.
Spread, but I lose the future, and it stays under.
All right.
Sorry, Christine, on that one. Maybe we'll get a. Can we get a last? I don't know. I'm thinking. Can we get like a last minute field goal to win or touchdown? I don't know. I don't know if that's in the cards here. But it would be. What did the Super Bowl look like? What was Brady's first Super Bowl? Was that the Vinatieri kick, the first one, or?
I mean, it was a Vinatieri kick against the Rams.
Was that the last play of the game? The walk-off? Was that the walk-off?
I think that's correct.
That was that one. So,
well, no, he did that twice.
Did it against
the Panthers too?
Carolina also, but that was, I think it was. Yeah, I feel like it was the. I think it was the first one though. Was the Vinatieri winner? So let's see. What was the line on that one? They were definitely an underdog in that game.
Yeah, it was like 13 or something.
They were a big dog. So we'll see. Is this the start of the new of a new era?
Yeah.
For the Patriots, 6 more Super Bowls. Or
no?
Right. Apparently you don't think so. It's the Darnold era.
Yes.
Apparently, Sam Darnold. Right. So I'd love to see Sam Darnold win. I think he's been through a lot, and it's good to see him back, or to now playing as well as he has back-to-back years. But I think I think this is a closer game than people think. I think it does come right down. I don't know if someone's going to win it on the last drive, but there will be the team losing will have the ball here in the last drive with a shot to win it. Maybe they get a missed field goal, and that's how
like they did last week.
Correct. Well, last week was rough, but yeah, maybe a missed field goal to end this game.
All right.
But all right, everyone, enjoy. We will be back next week. We'll be talking more sports betting, and we'll go over this game, and of course, start talking about some other sports as we get into the change of season here. All right, for JBC, I am Stats. Good luck, everybody. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and may all your bets be winners.